G'day viewers, how the devil are you? Yes, just like that nasty rash that the shot of penicillin from the doctors won't make go away, I'm here again, hopefully to entertain you and show you some more amazing things with the power of oil burning. Today what I want to talk about is control for burners. Now I know a lot of people have gone on a lot about keeping things simple. They want to do drip feed with just a valve on a drum and all that, but there's a lot of problems with that. As oil heats up, it will start to flow faster. As the level in the tank drops, it will start to flow slower. So if you want something that's going to run for a long time and have a safe and stable output, I think what some people would consider as complication is well worth it. Here you can see down the bottom I've got a little timer board that I got off eBay. You can get them off any of the electronic selling sites, and basically it turns the little pump on for a specific time. In this case I think it's about 2/10 of a second, and then it waits for 5 seconds. This way you can always have the same amount of fuel, and it doesn't matter, you know, on the level in the tank or whether it's hot or cold or whatever, it's going to give you that consistent output. The little one above with the knob on it, that's attached to the blower, and that's obviously for the air control. By regulating the air and the fuel, you can pretty much have the output whatever you want, and it's going to stay where you put it. It's not going to vary, it's just going to keep doing the same output. So if you're doing something like I'm trying to do at the moment, which is build a home heater where you want it to run a lot of hours and you don't want to have to keep coming out at 3 o'clock in the morning to adjust it, this is the way to go. Like I say, you know, keeping things simple is all well and good, but then again, you know, there's a lot of things on cars that could be simpler, and nobody wants to be manually adjusting the timing or, you know, doing things like that. The slight improvements make things a lot easier, and things with electronics these days are very reliable, and certainly a lot more reliable in this case than, you know, the varying level of drip feed oil systems. So let's have a look at what you can do with that. Now, one big advantage to a system like this is, as you can see, I can have the fuel reserve on the ground. I don't have to have it up above my head, I don't have to be trying to fill it up and lift it up, and I don't have it, you know, falling down or anything else. Oh look, here's a new thing where I am. Bloody aeroplanes. Turbo's got trains, I've got planes. Now all we need is some YouTuber trying to film beside a highway, and we've got the trifecta. Anyway, as you can see, having a pump makes it very easy to have a fuel source on the ground. You don't have to be lifting it up, and again, you don't have to be worrying about, you know, lowering volumes in tanks and things like that. You can also have a nice big tank that you couldn't lift up, so you can run it for a long time. This is just again another eBay pulse type pump. In the past, people have said, oh, you can't turn pumps on and off because it overheats them. This pump works itself by turning on and off. It's basically a solenoid type pump. It does a stroke, pushes the oil out, the power drops, the magnetic field drops, and then it resets. So these things basically work even when constantly connected by turning on and off, and they work just fine, so no problems there. Here we have the air blower. As you can see, it's highly technical construction using the best plumbing parts the local hardware store has to offer, and of course the obligatory duct tape. That's duct. D-U-C-K-T, there's a T in it. It's not duct tape for repairing feathered birds. This is actually somewhat going against the grain, in that it could be said that I'm actually using it for its intended purpose, which is ducting air. I hope I don't get cancelled off YouTube for doing that, but you know, there you go. I've got it so it disconnects just at the reducer there, so I can pack it away. And the thing with this is I can vary the air output. Let me demonstrate. Now, even though it's been a week or two since my last video, gee, maybe even longer, some things haven't changed. Still using the same basic setup and one of the same burners that you've seen in many videos before. And yes, that's right, this isn't the only video I've ever done. I think I've got about 80, so click on the oil burner name under the description under the video, and that will bring up a directory for all the other videos that I've done. That's really helpful to me as well, because then I don't have to keep answering the same questions that people have already asked and I answered 5 years ago. So take a bit of time to help yourself and you'll learn more as well. Now, even though I haven't been making videos, I've been watching plenty and I haven't been sleeping on the job. I've been thinking about my day I would make a comeback and what my viewers want. And to that end, I've made a couple of concessions. One thing I've observed is the American people, as advanced and wonderful a country it is, apparently don't have matches. Every single video I see where somebody has to light something, they use a blowtorch. A little bit different to what we do here in Oz. We just use matches or a cigarette lighter, but apparently the United States hasn't discovered them yet, so they have blowtorches. So I've gone and got one for you to make all my American viewers feel more at home. The other thing, as you can see there, is a temperature gun. Yes, I tried this and I can get 1,000 degrees off a match, but I don't think that's going to heat my house or melt metal too well. But nonetheless, I've got one and I can show you how it is, even if it's totally and utterly useless, which I pretty much expect. But there you go, folks. Don't say that I don't think of my viewers and where you might be in different parts of the world. I've catered to the countries that don't have matches and the ones that think that flame temperature equals output. So there you go, always thinking of you people. Now, something else that hasn't really changed in all these years is the way of lighting these burners. I have been thinking of something of using a glow plug to do it, which might make it a little bit more push button. But for today, I'm just going to go back to the old ways of putting some sticks in there. You can use gas, even though we all know that's still for sissies, that hasn't changed, but it's okay for lighting real man's fuel in oil. And you know, that's okay if you're only just using it just to keep the real fuel going. I've put some sticks in there. I'll put a bit of diesel in there, which is, you know, a little bit like gas, but it's okay to cheat just to get it going, and we'll see how we go from there. So just for a bit of preheating, we just put a little bit of air in there and just let it go. Hopefully everything will catch fire inside and we'll get a nice hot flame and we'll be able to see it take off from there. Now, it's probably 4 years since I've lit this burner, so if it doesn't take off as it should, well then you just won't be seeing this video, so all works out in the end, doesn't it? But let's see how that goes, and if I've still got it. Also, the other thing with this test will be to see if anybody is still silly enough to be watching these videos. Well, that looks like it's coming along pretty well. We'll just let it heat up and see how she goes. It is best to start off with just a little air and a bit rich fuel. That helps get everything up to temperature a lot quicker, and then just ramp up the air and fuel from there. A lot of people have got back to me saying they have difficulty lighting burners. One thing that I've seen from a couple of videos people have sent me is that once the thing starts to actually take off and get a bit of flame, they get a bit scared and they tend to back it down. You have to stay into it and keep the thing going. You can't half do it. Don't worry about a bit of flame. Hey, it's only fire. What could possibly go wrong with that? So just stay in it, get the thing nice and hot, and it'll settle down. You'll probably have a little bit of excess fuel when you start, but once you ramp it up, that'll soon burn off. It'll settle down and be fine. The other thing is that you might hear some cracking and popping with this. When these vessels, bottles get rusty, the rust traps the moisture and it tends to pop off. So that's something else that you have to be aware of as well. Don't worry about that. Once it dries out, it'll be fine. Right, now as you can see, it's starting to run a bit rich. That means too much fuel, so let's ramp up the air and see where we go. And just like that, folks, we're back to oil burning power. Still a little bit rich. Let's give it a bit more air. Perfect. A nice short flame that's ripping out of there like no tomorrow and producing lots of heat. Looks like I'm still able to wind these things up with no problem after all these years. Guess it's just like riding a bike. Once you fall off, you try hard not to do it again because it generally hurts and there's lost skin involved, and yeah, not a good sight. So we've got that running pretty much as it should be now. It's a nice clean flame, so then we can just back it off and balance the air-fuel ratio. this hasn't been running long, as you can see, and it's certainly not running too fast. So let's use our obligatory YouTube video temperature gun and see what sort of temperature we get out of the thing. Look at that. Don't know if you can see it, just as I expected. Completely and utterly bloody useless. It's telling me high and the thing's just basically idling. Well, that shows you what these things are worth, viewers. Now, as I've been saying for years, one big thing with having fuel and air control is the ability to ramp up your output. So let's turn the pump up a bit, give it a bit of juice and see what happens. Yep, that's oil burning power for you, just like that. Not even running flat out yet. Let's give it a bit of beans. Just like that, we can go from idle to rocket power. Not a problem in the world. And there we go. That's one thing that you just can't do with a drip feed and a fixed blower. The ability to ramp up your fuel and air mixture can make all the difference in the world. And as you can see, just like back to purring like a little pussycat, just like that. Not a problem whatsoever. Have you missed this, viewers? It's been a while, but I think I have actually, so hopefully somebody will be watching this. You haven't all forgotten, and the world's still crazy enough to be interested in this sort of malarkey. Now, viewers, it just wouldn't be an oil burner video without these safety tips, and we're going to keep it simple, just getting back into things now. And that is, if you see something that's glowing red and it's belching flames, well then it's going to be hot. As the sign says, damned hot. So don't try and touch it, don't pick it up, and if you're the criminally inclined, don't try. No, wait a minute. If you are the criminally inclined, do try and steal it. By all means, it's worth a fortune. Quick, cash in on it. It'll be great. You'll make a fortune. By all means, go over, pick it up and run away with it. You know, you'll be so glad you did, and so will the rest of us. If anything's glowing red and it's belching flames, really, just go and grab it. It's very valuable. You'll be able to sell it and you'll make a fortune out of it. Just another tip from the Oil Burning channel. Rightio, viewers, let's go for another run up and see if we can make some big fire. Look at that, viewers, some things never change. Still plenty of heat and oil burning power. Well, viewers, even though it's been a little while since I've I've been doing videos. There was a guy, Ed Jones, Aussie 50, who was sadly passed away and was a big inspiration to me, and I know a lot of other people in getting into doing YouTube videos. Looking at the people that you know, made testimonials some time back when he passed away, it's clear that he did inspire a lot of people and was one hell of an ambassador for YouTube and getting people doing different videos and making content. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to acknowledge Ed and say a belated thank you for the inspiration he gave me and the tips and advice which were really good, and that I'll never forget, not just in making videos but in doing a lot of other things in life as well. So missing you very much, Ed, and think of you very often as well, mate. You know, viewers, when I last made videos, people would tell me to be careful and stay safe, meaning not to burn myself to a crisp, blow myself up, or do many other things that the safety sissies always predicted would be my end. Times have changed. Now, people tell everybody to stay safe, and that means don't catch a cold or the sniffles. But don't worry, folks, I'm paying attention, I'm on top of all these things, and you can trust that this video is very safe and you're not going to catch anything, because I always wear a mask. Be like me, make sure you wear your mask everywhere you go. Now, viewers, just before I finish off, one last safety tip, and that's a serious one today and a real health issue. If you see a sign like this, it means go and buy yourself a mirror. If you look like that, be it man or woman, you need to look in the mirror and have a good look at what you're doing to yourself. You know, cut out the meat pies and, you know, all that junk food, and especially if you're a woman, get to the gym. You're never going to get married like that girl, and blokes pretty much the same. So, you know, get yourself into shape. Don't end up looking like this, and if you see your shadow like this, well, you know, it is definitely time to do something. This is a very important message for all of us. You know, keep fit, stay healthy, and live a nice long life. Even though it's been a while since I've been doing any videos, I have been reading a lot of all of the comments really, and trying to keep a bit up to date with what's been said. And I want to thank all my viewers out there for the hundreds of well wishes and asking how I've been going, and, you know, just checking up on me. It was really appreciated. It was very unexpected, to be honest, and I'm not a real soft guy, but, you know, I was touched many times. So to all the people out there that you know, that have contacted and messaged me and things like that, a very heartfelt thank you. Yeah, unexpected and very appreciated, and made me feel very humble. So thank you very much. I do have a goal now. I want to get back into this, try and find the motivation. I've been promising people to do it for years, but hopefully, you know, I'm in a place where I can do it now, and I want to end up, I want to get one of those fancy YouTube play buttons. I want to dedicate that to somebody, and you know, I'll if I get there, you know, I'll let you in on what that is and why. But you know, I'll try and for the moment keep pushing out some content, keep you entertained. And if you know anybody that might like this sort of stupidity, by all means, you know, get them to subscribe to the channel. Even if they only do that, never watch again, doesn't really matter. I just want to get to the goal, and that would be another big thing which I'd appreciate some help with. And thank you all if you can share the videos around. Thanks a lot.